When you're using search formulas, you can use wildcards to find portions of a string. The question mark symbol will represent any single character, and the asterisk will represent any number of characters. And this table can help us understand how to use those better. If we use the wildcards like this, and we had asterisks, and then home, and then asterisks, it's going to locate any string that contains home somewhere in it. So we can have any number of characters after it, or any number of characters before it. So that would find the home, for example. Let's test this one out. We're going to use COUNTIF for this one. COUNTIF that cell is this text. Asterisk, home, asterisk. Which it is, since it is home with any number of characters before and after it. 1. Now, if it was not asterisks, but question marks, that would be any cell that is home with just one character before it and one character after it. 0. Unless it was something like 1 home 1. Because that does fit our criteria. And there's other ways to use these wildcards. There's home asterisk, so that would find something like hometown, home with any number of characters after it. There's asterisk home, which would find anything that ends in home, so at home. And then with the question mark, if you had AT question mark, that's going to find any string that begins with at and then has one character after it. So it would find something like 8. And then you could put the question mark at the start, and that would find a string like Matt, for example, because it's just one character and then the letters is AT. Now we've got a worked example here, which searches through this list of different strings. And the first example searches for just apple, and we can see that that will return a 1. The result is 1. Because there's only one cell that fits that criteria perfectly. That's just apple and nothing else. What about apple with one character after it? That will also be 1, since there's 2 apples and apple exclamation mark. So that should return 2, which it does. Then we have apple asterisk, so apple with any number of characters after it. There we've got 1, 2, 3. And this one will not be counted because it's got an extra character before it. So we should see 1, 2, 3, and 4, since 0 should count as well. 4. And then COUNTIF, we've got asterisk, apple, asterisk. Cool. So anything with apple in it and anything else. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wildcards can be useful when they're used with the replace tool. So if we bring up replace with the shortcut Control F, which brings up find and replace, and then select the replace tool, we can, let's for example, replace this last one. Anything that has an exclamation mark, any number of characters in it, and another exclamation mark, let's just turn that into apple. 1 replacement. Or we could say anything that has that ends in an exclamation mark. Anything that has any number of characters and ends in an exclamation mark, let's just replace that with apple. That's a useful way that you can use the wildcards with the replace tool.